This lesson is a statistics lesson. It's called Quantitative Measures of Center and Variability. First, let's look at a few definitions. The mean. The mean is the arithmetic average of the data. You add all the values of the data points together and divide them by the sum, or divide the sum by the total number of data points. The median is when you list all the values in numerical order from least to greatest, and the median is the middle number of that data set. And the interquartile range, often referred to as the IQR, is the difference between the computed Q3 value and the Q1 value of a statistical data set. So let's take a look at this dot plot. The first thing we do is list all the data point values in order from least to greatest. And there they are. Remember that each one of these dots represents a value. So that dot is 120. This one is 120. This one's value is 90. This is 90. This value is 60. So here we have our values in order from least to greatest. Let's find the mean, or the average. There are 30 data points, and so we're going to add them all up. What I do is I group them so I can try to add them in my head or add them faster. And then I'll write the equation adding all those together. And I'll group them if I need to. But take your time, do it step by step, and you won't make an error. So our math shows that we have 1,810 divided by the 30 data points. That's going to give us our average, which we call the mean. And we find that our mean is 60.33. Again, we have our data set, and we have it from least to greatest, and we're going to find the median. Remember that the median is the middle value when the data is listed from least to greatest. So what's the middle number? We start crossing off the numbers from the left and from the right, an equal number, until we get to the middle. And the middle in this case happens to be in between 60 and 60, because if I cross both those off, there wouldn't be anything left, no more numbers. So what we do in that case is we add the two numbers together. In this case, 60 plus 60, we divide by 2. So we find that our median is 60. It just so happens that our median is the same number that we have here. But this is really the mean or the average of these two numbers. If these two numbers were different, then you wouldn't get one of them as the median. Alright, so now we know where our median is. So we're going to calculate Q1, which is actually the middle number or the median of the half of the data that is left to the left of the median that we just found. So it's going to be the middle value of all of these. So we take all those, we start crossing off from left and from the right until we get to that middle number. And that middle number in this case happens to be 30. So that is our Q1. We need to find the Q1 and the Q3 in order to calculate our IQR, which is the interquartile range. So now we got Q1, we have to find Q3. Q3 is the middle value, or the median, of all the data that is to the right of the actual median of all the data. So here it is. We start crossing off on the right and on the left till we get to the middle value. And we find that our Q3 value is 90. Okay, so now that we have Q1 and Q3, we can find the interquartile range. Q1 is 30, Q3 is 90, and Q3 minus Q1 equals the interquartile range. 90 minus 30 equals our IQR, so our IQR is 60. Alright, let's summarize. Here we have our dot plot, which shows all of our data values. And we found that the mean was 60.33, the median was 60, and the IQR was also 60. So what did we do? Two things that we had to remember. We certainly have to know our definitions for mean, median, and the interquartile range, and we have to remember how they're calculated. The mean is the average of all the values. The median is the middle value when all the values are written in order from least to greatest. And the interquartile range is Q3 minus Q1. In order to find Q1, you have to find the middle value of all the values that are to the left of the median, and Q3 you have to find the middle value of all the values that are to the right of the median. Don't forget, you have to order your data values from least to greatest. And just as a note, even if your values are 0, you still have those data points. You still have to include them. In this case, we had 4 zeros. We had to include them when we were ordering our data values from least to greatest. Okay, well that ends this very brief video on the statistics quantitative measures of center. We sometimes call them central tendency. That would be the mean and the median. And also for variability. And in this case, we calculated the IQR, or the interquartile range. Enjoy the activity.